everybody. So today we're going to be reading Monster My Friends, Creepypastaxbeastlistener up in here. So I'm going to do a little bit of the recap because it seems to tie in with the second human ending. So that's what I think it's tying into. So basically for the second human ending, if you guys don't remember, basically we talked to Pazuzu. We stayed and saved the creature that we are. And he mentioned that we were going to have a little bit of perks. He didn't mention it until, well, he didn't mention anything else. We went back to the mansion, and we laid down for a bit, came back out with Sally because they started having a big fight about something. Well, Jeff, the killer, had a big fight with everyone else. But anyways, we went with Sally outside. Long story short, she ended up falling from a tree. We ended up catching her, like thinking, like, oh, I wish I could catch her. We turned into some type of humanoid creature. Everyone came out, found out eventually that it was you. Everyone came back inside, including you. You started, telling anyone who dissed us. And that now you're officially a part of the creepypasta. Pretty much. Long story short. And that, basically you gotta find out who was gonna be, who you were gonna go with or live with or something like that. So yeah. Sorry for that, making it a little long, but I try to make it as short as possible. Anyways, now we are officially into this warning section. There will be mentions of the slender sickness, somebody dying, a lot of blood / throwing up. There'll be some, I'm going to call it mental instability moments / sad moments. There'll be threats of bodily harm, but, this is creepypasta after all. It's normal. And if there's any other warnings I should have warned you about, but I totally forgot about, they will be on the screen right now. You guys have been warned. And let's play a game. Sallyending. Returning to the mansion with a lot of weight on my shoulders makes the walk 3 times as long. It's quiet. No one remains in the yard, leaving an uneasy atmosphere. With a heavy sigh, I take my place back under the tree. The spot seed has slept, it's so warm. They must have not left long ago. The silence leaves my thoughts in a mess. Pom-pom! I perk up upon hearing soft footsteps that approach me energetically. Sally waves her arms with a big grin on her face. She stops before me with a hop, rocking on her heels with an excited giggle. I'm happy you're here. I thought you left me. She wraps her short arms around my neck. Mr. Slenderman kicked everyone out. Me and you are the only ones here now. She hops up, spinning in a circle with her arms out. I had a fight with Jack. I'm glad he's no good at rock, paper, scissors. I won. Well, no, I lost, but Jack is blind, so... And I get to take you home. Her demeanor changed. She shifted into herself. I mean, if you want to. Oh, Sally. I smile in return, my heart a little lighter. Sally is a good girl. The first person I met after turning. Without her, I may have remained alone in that tree. No encounter with any other of the residents in this forest, no magical book, and no possibility of looking forward to tomorrow. I may have gone mad. For now, at least for now, I can follow along. The part of me that wants to stay needs some justification. Sally tugged on my feathers, joyfully pulling me towards the main entrance to the mansion, where a tall, polka-dotted entity stood. Oh, joy! Have you heard the news, little ball of fluff? You are coming home with us! We will have so much fun! Splendor claps his hands. Come along now, little ones. This occasion calls for a fancy-dancy party. Sally cheers. A tea party! The two energies is contagious. I can feel my muscles relax, a smile creeping over me. The Slenderman's deep call puts a pause to our glow. Splendor pouts as he turns away from the entrance to kneel before Sally. So sorry, Sally dear. My brother needs me for a while longer. Why don't you and Pom-Pom head home to set up for our party? You may choose my party hat for the occasion. Sally's eyes lit through the disappointment that nearly overflowed. The beads shine with a gleeful glitter. She nodded hastily, watching Slenderman re-enter the mansion before throwing her hands in the air. "Did you hear that, Pom-Pom? I get to pick out his party hat!" I nearly rolled my eyes at her overexcited attitude, my grin stretching with an amused chuckle, plopping myself down to allow the little girl to struggle her way on board. She tangles her small hands into my hair securely, laughing as I bound forward with a kick from her pretty pink shoes. She guides me through the woodlands, the dark, gloomy forest molding to life with each passing step. We're going to have so much fun. The house is small, but there's a pretty lake nearby, and a lot of flowers, and cool trees. She clung to me, patting my shoulder in a quick, light motion. "You'll love it, Pom-Pom. You don't have to hurt anyone there." I swallowed the lump in my throat. Peace. It would be nice. A sliver of normal. That is something I didn't think I would have again like this. Though I laugh at myself with the comprehension that I basically become a moosh. I smile as Sally shrieks happily while I jump over a log. Her elated reactions edging me with gratification. She is happy. Now I am happy. How long will this feeling last, I wonder? This side of the forest is less condensed. The evening sun peeks through the trees in a soft, fuzzy warmth. The ground cover is spacious, as though it wishes to avoid tripping the smallest of animals that happen upon its peaceful path. Relaxingly quiet, aside from the distant sound of singing songbirds and the subtle breeze that kitten licks at the branches. A dreamlike place untouched by the hands of people. I hear Sally chuckle. She's smiling down at me, nodding to my reason for our pause in our travel. It's pretty, right? Mr. Slenderman keeps this place just for people like us. She slides off my side, bending down to pick up a small, soft blue wildflower, rolling the stem between her short, thin fingers as she speaks. When we die, everything was dark and sad, but Mr. Slenderman took us here to rest. The other kids like me managed to pass on like that, but I don't know if I can leave just yet. But it's okay. I like this place. I'm not alone. I have Mr. Slenderman. She gives me a bright, wide smile, entangling the stem of the plant into my hair beside my destroyed eye. And now I have you. Yes, you have me now. I rub my forehead against her cheek, an involuntary purr rumbling up my throat. I whip my head around when a twig snaps, the hair on the back of my neck raising among my hackles. A ready pair of beady dead eyes return my weary glare. It slips, pulling back at the sight of its arch nemesis. Sally has yet to notice the guest, her back facing the stare down. The rake has made its appearance once more, its long, slim limbs stretching across the ground as it takes a few steps forward, hesitant but borderline willing to pick another fight with me. I take a step to cover Sally from the creature's view, lowering my head, a warning that I am prepared should it try anything. We both take a step forward, silent and testing. The air shifts, sending a shiver up my back. The rake's body jolts, folding itself lower to the ground as its gaze shifts, looking right through me. "Mr. Slenderman!" Sally cries, jumping from her crouched position and clinging to the leg of the tall being that arrives out of nowhere. The being offers her a closed-eye smile, patting her head in silence as his focus shifts to the rake opposing us. He remains smiling, but there is something disturbing about the way it twitches ever so slightly, or how the jingle of the little bells on the end of his tendrils chime a harsh, gradual ring. He might be a funny, clownish man, but he is no doubt the Slenderman's older brother. The rake, knowing its obvious outclass, relents. Its limbs creak as it backs away, giving me a look before disappearing. A quite fragile truce. The air returned peaceful before I can detect the change. The two happily giggling together as Splendor explains how Slender attempted to goad him into leaving me behind, as Slender wanted me for himself. Sally praised him for keeping his promise. I do as well. That is a lovely flower, Splendor sings, carefully holding the gift Sally had braided into my hair. You know how to choose the most marvelous flowers, Sally. Would you choose one for me as well? The little girl stands triumphantly. Of course, Mr. Slenderman. I will pick out the most prettiest and cutest flower just for you. Splendor looks down upon me as she skips off. He chuckles. I must thank you, Pom-Pom. Had you not been there, that dirty beast would have gone after Sally. It is a horribly stubborn thing, always returning no matter the numbers of times I scare it off. I have lost to a few of its claws, but it is a few too many. He pats me upon the head, gently scratching his long fingers through my scalp. I shall entrust my children to your protection in the future as well. I bound forward with an embarrassed grin, and a new inspiration to not let my new family down. There were a lot of laughs on the relaxing walk. Sally was eager to get the party started at once, her body vibrating with excitement. Over here, Pom-Pom. Home is through here. She darts through the strands of tall grass, vanishing from sight and leaving her laughter to echo through the clearing. My, she is quite excited, isn't she? Do take good care of her from now on, Fuzzy One. Splendor pushed through the brush aside for me to view what it was hiding. He extended his long arm in an inviting bow. Welcome, my new friend, to the home of the Happy Pastas. The referred lake sparkles with the light from the open sky. Wildflowers of every color dance in sync with the tall grass. 100-year-old willow trees in a peaceful rhythm. Truly a relaxing paradise. A cottage sits quietly on a stone support. It's a cute size, but small enough to be compared to any home a human would use. The siding is a light tan, and the roof tiles robin's egg blue. The windows are circular, arranged with enough space to light the rooms with nothing but the sun. Come inside, cutie. Sally has been positively ecstatic for your arrival. Begged me to set up her little party table for our top quality sets. Splendor skipped to the spherical door, turning the shiny, pristine knob while holding my gaze as though wanting to take in my reaction to the environment. The scent of freshly baked muffins escaped the doorway. A dribble of drool fell from the corner of my beak. Sally sat at a short table placed in the middle of the kitchen. A steam-pressed tablecloth just barely missed the floor. Plenty of expensive-looking teacups and plates placed before the edge of the table's corner. Sally smiles, placing a tiara on the top of her head. She clears her throat, piercing her lips with a fake pompous expression. Greeting, fine guest. Mr. Charlie and I have been expecting you. Sally turns to a small brown plush bear placed on a chair beside her. The bear sat awkwardly and lifeless. Yet, I get an unnerving feeling while looking into its beady eyes. Splendor ducked beneath the doorframe, removing his spotted top hat and bowing to the young girl. Pardon me, Princess Sally. We thank you for this wonderful opportunity for some delicious snacks. Splendor took a seat opposite the bear, curbing his impossibly long legs against his body like a frog. He gently took the cups before him and held it delicately between his fingers. Sally happily pours Splendor some tea, a light pinkish liquid falling from the spout with a delicate scent of fruit. Though the kettle looks heavy for her small hands, she avoided spilling the hot drink over her guest's clothing. She feigns a gasp as she looks me over. Mr. Palm, you are not dressed for a tea party? Standing, Sally reaches under the table, hopping over to place herself before me, a shoebox in hand. I already know where this interaction is headed. Although I don't know how to feel about the title I am given, there is no reason to take it to many personal levels. I no longer have a need nor want to take myself so seriously. I bow my head for the girl, low enough for her to for her short arms to place an ugly rainbow strip necktie over my head and a small clip-on-top hat to match, adding a fashionable monocle she comically assorted with my good eye. Sally's eyes shined brightly, her hands flying to her cheeks with a gasp. I know, there's one more thing that will pretty you up, Mr. Pom-Pom. Confused, I glanced at Splendor. The creature leisurely sips his tea with a content expression, watching Sally run off through the back of the house. Splendor chuckles, pushing the stool beside him away from the table. He plated one of the many muffins, placing it in the center of my sitting area. Come on now, cutie. Join us for the party. No need to stand hungry. There is plenty to eat here. I smile at him, taking his word and swallowing the baked good whole. My smile scrunched, the pastry trying to raise from my throat to mouth. I have never tasted something so off-putting. I am unable to distinguish what kind of muffin it is. It's solid, yet soggy, soft and soggy in some places. Spaces glide against my tongue. Splendor laughed at my expression. He placed a finger to his lips. Yes, Sally made them herself. Unfortunately, I don't have the heart to tell her that she does not have a knack for cooking. In fact, I think it is best that it remained that way. He took the plate of muffins, emptying each and every pastry into the inside pocket of his polka dot suit, without any special display of doing so. Let's just say we enjoyed them. Last time, when that smiling meanie complained about her drawing skills, her crying ruptured eardrums and broke windows. Best to avoid a similar outcome. Oof. A home with plenty of food but nothing to eat. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Do not fret. I am the main chef in this house. I consider myself quite the expert. Splendor reassured me, reestablishing my choice of residence. Oh my god, that's too funny. That is actually hilarious. I'm back! Sally races around the table, nearly tripping into me as she stops abruptly, her hands filled with wildflowers of many colors and shapes. She spent no time braiding the plants into my hair, the strong, sweet scent almost too much to handle. You're so pretty, Pom-Pom! She cleared her throat, placing both hands on her hips. I see my subjects enjoyed my cooking. As a princess, I am proud. Sally, dear, a princess would not normally cook for herself. Splendor patted his pocket, making extra sure nothing is visible. I am a humble ruler. I am sad I didn't get one, though. She sat back in her seat, picking up her teacup, sticking out her pinky finger as she took the sip. She sipped the liquid loudly. Now that our new guest is dressed for the party, we shall begin. Sally pours me a cup of tea, doing so for herself and her bear before taking a seat. I debate on attempting to grasp the delicate glass with my claws, fearing I might unintentionally break something that looks so expensive. Splendor chuckles. A shame, Princess Sally. It would appear that our friend can't join us in our enjoying our tea. Don't worry, Mr. Pom-Pom. I will get you a bowl next time. Sally smiles joyfully, her emotion contagious. It may be a childish affair, but this is the calmest I have been in months. Living with Sally won't be so bad. All right, Sally dear, I believe this day is done. Splendor speaks up after all the tea has been drank, dusting out the wrinkles in his spout as he stands and begins to clean the table. Alrighty. Already? Sally whines, yet obeys. She disappears down the hallway with Charlie tightly held in her arms. I had not noticed the sun had vanished from the sky, enjoying this little party more than I thought I would have. I let the time slip by without a worry. You as well, little one. I am sure Sally would love a cuddle buddy. Splendor smiles, returning to wash the dishes. Good night, sweet dreams. I returned his words with a soft sound, one I had not heard my mouth make. Good night. I followed the short hall, peeking into one of the three rooms where Sally had vanished. I caught her just as she was about to jump into bed. The refreshing smell of mind as she brushed her teeth. Her room is as I suspected would be. pink walls, and stuffed animals cozy and childish. "Coming to bed?" she asks, her voice tired. She rubs her eyes as she pulls the covers over herself. She smiles sleepily, patting the foot of her bed invitingly. "Good night, Pom-Pom." It's an odd sensation, a feeling of comfort and clarity I have not felt once as a human. Lighthearted, free, a full feeling of knowing that I have a place to return to. The feeling of peace. That is so cute. Oh, that's so cute. Love you, Sally. Oh, also, thank you so much, author. I appreciate this in the bottom. Anyways, now we are in Forever With Us, Slenderman / proxy ending. I kind of want to see where this goes. Pazuzu laughs.
Indeed, quite an interesting development. Not many get a chance to experience such excitement in their lives.
I smile, my good eye squinting. I am filled with conviction. I have no use for my old life. Time to move on from the heartache.
There you are.
My hair shot up. The book quickly fell limp in my talons. I spun around and nearly collided with Slenderman's legs. He stood leaning over my form with interest, his head cocked to the side.
I believe it is time for you to return. The others wish to give you their farewells.
My body trembled. My mouth cracked into a nervous smile. I nodded, stashing my lovely book into my fur, quickly trotting alongside Slender, who already has a good distance from me.
Ah yes, I am giving you permission to reside within this forest. However, I require you to stay in my mansion while I thoroughly study you.
He stopped for a moment, leaning down to my level and menacingly reaching out for my figure.
I will warn you, however, if word gets out about our interaction, I will play with the idea of dyeing my living room red. Do you understand?
I swallow a lump in my throat. Apparently, my ability during the mission gave Slender enough evidence to consider me at seedeater's level. That's both good and bad. I smile once again, a cracked, crooked display. My eyes twitched with anxiety. No way I will never get on the legendary Slenderman's bad side. He doesn't have nothing to worry about. Slenderman huffs, picking up his already fast pace while I scramble to keep up. "You found it?" Hoodie jogged up to us, breaking away from Sally, who appears to be throwing a tantrum. "It's not fair, Mr. Slenderman. I found Pom-Pom first. Why does he have to stay here?"
Because I say so. It is time for you to go home, Sally. It is not as though you will never see it again.
Slender lifted a finger as though remembering something.
Tudo, it's not like you will ever see Tudo again.
Sally pouted, sulking up to me and wrapping her arms around my neck. "Don't worry, Pom-Pom. I'll come visit you." "Aw, Sally." I rubbed my head against hers. I'm gonna miss Sally. She was the first resident I met in this forest. Who knows what I would have been if that never came to be. Sally soon left after. Apparently none of the others waited to say goodbye. Shooed away by Masky, who stood fuming by the mansion's door. Slender clears his throat, prompting Masky to flinch and hold the door open as the tall entity and I enter the building. Everything sits just as tidy as last. Spotless white.
Now then, I shall set a few ground rules. Fail to comply will result in an immediate skinning and intestinal extraction.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Slender reaches into his fancy pocket, retrieving a neatly folded paper. He carefully and delicately straightened the parchment, smacking it a few times to straighten it out.
Rule 1. Under no circumstances are you to be on my couch. If I see a single hair or tear, be prepared for the consequences. 2. You will not leave without my knowledge. I must know of your whereabouts at all times. 3. If I so much as smell bodily discharge of any kind, you shall reside outside, chained to the side of a doghouse for however long you live. 4. And this is the most important rule. Any acts of precocious will result in the previous consequence along with a spay and or neuter. Do you understand?
My mind fell blank. My mouth open in wordless astonishment. The bombastic side-eye I would give this man. Oh my gosh. The bombastic side-eye would be the most bombastic side-eye. Oh my gosh. I am horrified, impressed, and offended by his choice of rules. Seemed he has been organizing it for quite a while. Maybe even from the moment he became interested in me.
Very good. I will have my proxy show you around. I assume there has yet to be any sign of Toby.
Masky looks down, his hands trembling with anger. No, sir. He was here when we returned, but...
No matter. We will find him. Always do.
Slender turned away from us, glancing back at his proxies with an unnecessary amount of authority.
I have some quick business to take care of. I trust the two of you can handle a walkthrough.
Yes, sir. Both answered simultaneously, standing firm and tall. Both relax their postures as Slender's form vanishes altogether. Hoodie takes a deep breath, loosening his tense shoulders. Where should we start? The bottom floor may be the best. Masky groans, throwing his head back. Fine, let's make this quick. I haven't had a proper sleep for God knows how long. The bottom floor is nothing to scoff at. The laundry room was more than 3 pairs of washers and dryers. The game room has a pool table and a mini bar. And the pantry has enough food to feed an army. They did warn me to stay away from the basement, though. Makes me curious. We get electricity from town. 1 cable powered this whole house, so don't break it. The food in the pantry is not to be touched unless we go into the unless we go into lockdown. That only happens if the authorities are keeping an eye out for us and we have no way to get to the market. Let's see. The game room is less for us and more for the boss's connections. They have to visit once in a blue moon for negotiations, so it's best not to touch anything. Hoodie explains the details with persiveness, of some auto dealer trying to sell a car. He's good at it, persuasive. Masky, on the other hand, says nothing, watching quietly with boredom. Tudo can't touch anything, Hoodie. What in the world can in what world can a bird play poker? Hoodie stares at Masky blandly, waiting for his partner to retract that statement and revitalize his mistake. Masky puts his hand out, backtracking. Yeah. A world where tall, faceless being and bear-sized fluff monsters. I get it. I roll my eyes as we entered our next destination. Of course, the kitchen had to be just as fancy as the living room. It is connected to the dining room through a crescent opening. The cupboards stack high and racks of cutlery tools hanging from metal rods. The fridge is an older model, but is so well taken care of and crafted, it settles right in along with many other appliances. The countertops are an opal marble. Cool. The floors are an ash-feathered cobble. Okay. The walls are soft dove white, and even the utility lightings that this place has are freaking chandeliers. Damn. Not only the appearance, but also the seemingly limitless amount. The open cupboard is stocked with boxes of various kinds and jars of canned goods. Curiously, I opened the fridge to find it fully stocked with so many fruits and vegetables I don't know the names of more than half of them. Obviously, someone in this house fancies cooking. Then I saw it. Stuffed away in the corner sat a tin, balled up wrapper. My mouth became wetter, the memory of my previous gift resurfacing. I reached for it, already tasting the meaty girth of the burger. Tudo, what do you think you're doing? Masky loomed over me, inspecting whatever had caught my attention. He shot a glance over his shoulder at Hoodie, who stood some feet away and was more concerned with his phone than those around him. Masky hummed, removing the sandwich from the fridge himself. All right, fine, but only because you were a lot of help on the last mission. Don't go rooting through our fridge in the future. Yes, sir. I had the ability to salute him, I definitely would. He peeled away the wrapper, holding out the greasiest, fattest, most stuffed burger I've ever laid my eyes on. He held it out to me, moving his fingers around to avoid the dripping juices. You, sir, are now my favorite person. My saliva dripped along with it, pitting on the pristine tile as I wholeheartedly opened my mouth for him to place the deliciousness in. I nearly cried tears of happiness as the grease-soaked bun touched my tongue, a taste only describable as beautiful. Masky quickly wrenched his hands away in fear of losing it all along with the meal, despite me taking my time to close my jaw. He stared intently before turning back to his partner, who stared back at him with a dark frown. Hoodie crossed his arms. Did you just give away my burger? No. Hoodie huffs. Shaking his head, he nodded at me, watching as I chew the rest of his lunch. Whatever. That's all for the first floor. I will warn you, the second is largely different in aesthetic. It's where our rooms are located. It used to be in good condition, but the boss doesn't put much effort into it anymore. Some of the unstable proxies ruined it more than once. No visitor goes upstairs, so what's the point in putting resources into something that will be destroyed? It all happened before we got here, though, so I don't know the full story. It's shit, really, but I guess it could be worse. Masky grumbles, pushing past Hoodie and I to reach the stairs. I don't know where you will be sleeping, but don't get your hopes up. I roll my eyes, jumping as the hardwood beneath me creaked. The other two don't seem to care, continuing up to the second floor with a worry of breaking. As they said, the second floor is not fancy. In fact, it's in shambles. The wallpaper is torn in many places. Some of the drywall is punctured. The roof is splotchy with water stains. Some light fixtures burned out or smashed. The numerous doors are scarred with knives and scratch marks. It's a place out of a horror movie. I glance around nervously. This is definitely not what I was expecting. Forget lowering my standards. This place can't be considered livable. This is our room. The few proxies there are have to double up to make space. So as you can imagine, plenty do not enjoy each other's company. Hoodie opened one of the few doors in the hallway, pushing the old rotting door inward with a loud creak. The room is nothing special. It could be compared to a dorm. 2 single beds pushed against either wall, 2 bedside tables, and a shared closet. This place looks like it has not been cleaned recently. Dust bunnies rolled in the corners. Clothing haphazardly thrown around about the room. The window looks like it has not been cleaned in years, allowing a minimal amount of sunshine through its glass. There is no color coordination. There is hardly any color at all. It's all a dreary, sad room. Maybe they like it that way, but I guess it's part of the reason they're so rude. Or it could be the numerous empty bottles of medication that lay scattered on the floor. Regardless, it's a small room with little to see. Makes me worry where Slenderman plans to make me sleep. Not that I mind or anything, I just hope he gives me a bed. I could feel the corner of my lips pull up. This half smile catches the two off guard. They look at one another, wondering if their room was good enough to show such an impression. Tudo, I hope you understand you will be expected to assist us when needed. It takes a day's walk to get to town, but with you, it will cut the time in half. I don't know if you will be tasked with anything else, but that will without a doubt be your purpose. Hoodie placed a hand on my shoulder. He seems concerned. This place is not as glorious as it looks. Here, you don't work, you don't eat, you rebel in any way against our boss's orders, you will be punished. He is right, Fuzzy. It is a hard not life. What? It's a hard not life in this place? I'm gonna say that. It's a hard not life in this place. I can say, though, if you do well to listen and follow, it's not so bad. You guys are scaring me.
You two appear to chatter more obscenities when you are left alone.
The air cracked with static. The 3 of us flinched at Slender's voice. The creature stood over us, quietly observing our huddle in front of the door.
I will forgive it this once. Watch your words.
Yes, sir. Once again, the 2 answered simultaneously, their postures stiff and hands slightly shaking. They could not look Slender in the eyes. They would not look Slender in the eyes. Their heads down to stare at their feet. The attention is then shifted to me. Slender crooks his head, rubbing a bony finger against his chin.
I've been creating a space for you to reside. However, it is yet to be finished. For the time being, you shall accompany me. I will allow you to slumber in my chambers.
Shit, I know where this is going.
Come now, it is already getting late. We shall turn in early. Proxies, take a rest. I shall assign you your new task in the morning.
The two are surprised by Slender's words, their heads shooting up and shoulders tensing. Slenderman spins on his heels, marching down the hall with long strides, his posture tall and proper. I follow hastily as he shifted to peek over his shoulder, being sure I am indeed acting accordingly. Hoodie continued to stare after us, even after we returned to the corner to another hall. He gave us a break. Yeah, maybe getting him a pet made him soft? Masky also stood where he was left, blinking in astonishment. I hope it stays that way. Would make our lives a lot nicer. I agree. I just hope he will come around to change the poor thing's name. Masky glances over to his partner, crooking his brow. Why would you say that? It's not a bad of a name. Better than ours. Being named after the way you look is worse. Hoodie sighs, returning his partner's gaze. Tudo is literally Greek for owl. Oh, jeez.
Hush, you two.
Slender's abrupt comment startles me. Where we... Here, Lisa, just shut up. Slender's abrupt comment startles me. Where we leisurely following the corridor when he stopped and glances in a random direction. It was a complete random act that came out of nowhere. But this is the Slenderman we are talking about here. I should not expect normal from him.
Here we are.
Slender guided me before a massive door. A sleek, shiny, near resin surface. Slender eased the polished silver handle forward. The door, soundlessly revealing the dark interior. With a flick of Slender's wrist, the light flashed to life, illuminating the large room. Unlike the proxies, the Slender's room is bustling with taste, a mix of red, white, and blacks. And the bed. Oh God, the bed. If there were 3 of me, I would still have enough room to enjoy the dream world. Of course, I am skeptical of Slender's limits. He may place a towel out for me to lay on, to save the cleanliness of his white carpets. My body froze as I am picked up, Slender's long bony fingers gently wrapping under my pits. He held me like a dog, dragging his hand down my back as he approached the bed. This reminds me of that encounter I dare not force myself to remember. I am so surprised I refuse to move a muscle. Slender casually throws me into the covers, the mattress engulfing my body in its fluffy form. Is this how everyone feels when they hug me? I'm jealous.
Get comfortable. Do not worry about the mess. I shall bathe you first thing in the morning.
Slender tugged off his tie, hanging it along a wooden rod filled with identical ties. Thinking he was about to strip right down, I averted my eye, shoving my head in the blanket with a red face. That idea is dashed as the covers beside me shift. Okay. Slender tucked himself in, folding his hands over the blankets neatly. This lunatic sleeps in a suit. I narrow my eye at him, flinching back as he turns to me. He pats the space by his side, beckoning me to him. I did as he wished, though I am reluctant to act as a pet for my pride's sake. But I also want to suck up to this rich man for the benefits. Girl, get that money, period. Jokes aside, he is a good man. Not once has he acted on his word of dissecting or experimenting on me. It remains to be seen if he will continue to do so, but at this moment I will consider him safe. Slender wrapped an arm around my neck, dragging me closer to him, allowing me to use his thigh as a pillow. He pats my head.
Sleep.
His deep voice is soothing. I held a softness to its tone. I closed my eye, quickly relaxing into the warmth and silence. Slender leaned for a book as we sat on top of the bedside table. leaning against the headboard while reading, his other hand gently running his fingers through my feathers. A dreamless slumber. That sounds so amazing. Girl, get that money. Get that sugar daddy, girl. Alright, we are in Just as Savage, Jack/seedeater ending. I think I might have some fun. Pazuzu smiles, his gargled teeth on display.
Perhaps you shall.
Yes, this is the right choice. I've done and seen far too many unspeakable things to return to my old life. Besides, it's not all a bad thing being a monster. I'm freer than I've ever been. A sound echoes through the trees, a low-pitched hum. It tickles my ears and drew my attention more than any normal sound would.
I believe you are being called upon.
Pazuzu chuckles.
I wish you luck, Wyatt. May your future be wishful.
The book shut, gently flopping into my talons. I run a claw down the leather, hugging the book closely to my body before stashing it into my fur. What a nice guy. I don't blame him at all for what happened to me. How could I? I can consider him my benefactor now, if anything. The man who gave me another chance. I turned the direction of the low-frequency hum came from. I'm 100% certain that was Seedeater. Interesting how Pazuzu knew he was calling for me. Perhaps one day I will learn to understand. Both Jack and Seed are waiting for me at the mouth of the trail. Jack idly leaned himself against a thick pine while watching Seedeater pluck at the grass growing by his feet. Seed took notice of my presence quickly. He hopped up and trotted over with a bounce. Friend! He rammed himself into my body, latching to my side and vibrating with excitement as he purred, Play with friend! I cock a brow at him, watching skeptically as he bounds off the ground and spins in a circle like an excited dog. It is an amusing act, but I still have some pride. Maybe. Jack chuckles at the display of his furry friend, his mask firmly hiding his toothy grin. Not now, Seed. You guys can play when we get home. Home? Jack pats the both of us on the head. He seems joyous, upbeat even. He sighs happily as he places his forehead against my own. I'm going to need a new hideout. The current one is too small for the both of you. His mask is cold against my face. But his current aura of joy is contagious. I can't think of a better place than to be with these two. And I didn't have to ask. Jack wholeheartedly wants me to stay with him. Seed, too, seems fond of the idea. Was not easy, you know. Not only did I have to persuade Slender, I had to fight Sally. He huffs, a tired-like sigh. She tried to cheat me in rock, paper, scissors, but can you believe that? I may be blind, but I'm not stupid. I chuckle at the image of the two throwing hands. It has to be Sally who chose such an advantageous game. She must have had a fit when she lost. Jack tilted his head, gesturing his intended direction. Come on, you two. I want to get out of here before the others decide they want to have a go at me. Seed happily bounded after Jack, both stopping a few feet away to look back to see if I'm following. It warms my heart to know these two want me, to feel wanted, something I have not once concerned myself with before. With a smile and a leap, I joined the two on the way back to Jack's crusty cabin. The place just as in shambles as when I've last seen it. Jack cracked the door open, the musk flooding from the opening. He pauses, taking a step back and craning his neck. Someone was here. Seed and I are instantly on alert, that odd feeling twisting in my stomach. Familiar, hated, it only appears when something is wrong. I growl as the wind changes. Something intrusive and ugly, a scent I know but cannot place. Jack also notices the change, backing away further from the entrance to his own. Someone is still here. Bad! Seed roared, the hairs on his mane straightening. Stupid bad person! Look who's talking, you monster. An exhausted deep voice, just above a whisper, recognizable but insignificant in my mind. Took you long enough to get back here. Nearly thought you abandoned this place. This man exited the shadow of the building slowly, unsteadily. The recognition from both Seed and I filled the area with fearsome and feral growls. This man is the survivor from the mansion Seed had been imprisoned in. The memory of his cruelty toward my friends is aggravating. I wish I had hit the man harder upon our first encounter. Then my mouth would not have been tasting so sour. Jack, who had been put off by the familiarity from the intruder, took the reactions for his companions at face value, his hostility mirroring our own even when he does not understand why. The man before us laughed, his feet tittering against the ground as he stepped into the grass and approached without a hint of self-preservation. An awkward, sloppy, and strained grin crossed his lips. His rosy cheeks flushed away his skin tone. It is apparent that he is inebriated. There we go. He's drunk? That's what I'm guessing. You think you monsters are so untouchable, don't you? He swung his arm, pointing it at Jack with a shanky finger. All of you, good-for-nothing, cancerous leeches of society. His finger trailed across the three of us, flopping back to his side as he stumbles to his feet. Venomous leeches. Ah. Jack snapped his fingers. You were that idiot that Slender said that was camping on the forest border. Can't say if you were brave or suicidal. Fuck you, you fucking monster. His voice is slurred. His eyes began to wobble with blurred vision. You destroyed everything we worked for. We were so close to exposing you to the world, to wiping you pathetic beings from this planet. He coughed violently, blood coating his hand as he pulled away from his mouth. Slender sickness. No wonder you look like shit. Jack laughs half-heartedly. I don't know what he is referring to with this illness, but with the subtle enjoyment Jack got from the idea, I know it is not something this man will enjoy. Fool! Seed stomped the ground, his muzzle held high as he eyed the pathetic excuse for his nemesis, watching with disappointment as the man before him stumbles to the ground. You foolish human. The man coughed again, his hair falling before his eyes as he collapses to his knees. A truly pathetic sight. I have no doubt he came here for a last strand sort of deal. Why else would he come alone to this place besides to die? Disregarding seedeater and I, he would have no chance against Jack himself. The man clicked his tongue, wobbling to his feet to a half-crouched position. His body strained for a moment before launching himself forward. His action not only caught me by surprise, but Jack as well. He took a solid fist to the face, the blow causing him to stumble some feet back, gripping my hair for support to prevent himself from toppling over. Whatever driven the man, it managed to just extrude vanished without one punch. He collapsed to his hands and knees, vomiting a large quantity of his lunch that came out as a bright red blood soup. He promptly collapsed to the floor and died where he lay. It was an unexpected scenario, one that didn't give us a chance to understand what the intentions were. Jack laughs, wiping his sore nose with a twist of his sweater, fixing his mask that came askew with the force, wanting to get one hit in before dying a dog's death. I can respect that, but it's only reserved for those who can't let sleeping dogs lie. Seed glared down at the corpse, seething while scanning his abuser's content features. Fool. I bump myself against him, wanting to console the beast as best as I can without words. I understand his annoyance and unsatisfying conclusion, but if it's any consideration, there is no way this man died without pain and regrets. The beast looked at me, his hollowed eyes lightening up slightly. Jack ran his claws through Seed's tuft, joining in an attempt to reassure his partner. He then glanced over, mimicking the actions upon my shoulder. Well, we won't be able to stay here any longer anyways. If one person found this place, someone will again. Seed watched after Jack as he entered the building. I can see that truth hurt Seed a little. Who knows how long he had called this scrappy yard home. I purred, humming soothingly and relaxed. It's okay, Seed. It's a clean slate for the both of us. I'm aware this. Excuse me. I swear this creature just smiled at me, as though he indeed understood my honest and exact words. His leather face stretching across his muzzle. To the human eye, it would have been a grotesque sight, fearsome even. I, however, can say that his expression is the softest, most joyful-filled expression his creature has ever expressed before my eyes. Human, the first thought had crossed my mind. No, not human. I am simply more capable of understanding now that I am not watching with human eyes. Alright, guys. Jack dropped 6 bags outside the door. The collection swiped up dust and dirt as if the weight of it hit the ground. Hope neither of you mind acting like pack horses for a bit. I grabbed everything that would be a pain to replace, along with some snacks and tools. Nothing for us here anymore. Jack patted Seed on the neck, understanding that his buddy must be feeling homesick already. 4 duffel bags are securely rope-tied around Seed-Eater's body. The eternal items jingled with every move of his muscle. The mass did not hinder him, but it left little space for him to navigate. All right, there. Jack did the same to me, securing two duffels to my hips with a strong rope. The way he secured it is awkward but not hindering. I get a sense of satisfaction with playing such a role. A position that would make something difficult if I had not been involved. Purpose, I suppose. Yes, purpose. Jack exited the home for the last time, adjusting a school backpack over his shoulder. He took a hold of my mane, throwing himself onto my body, far more experienced than we had first met. Time to go. Jack sighs, he himself feeling the longing for his home. Seed paused before truly leaving the yard, taking another look at the crumbled body laying face first in the dirt. Jack simply shook his head, knowing what his intentions are. Leave it, Seed. It is nothing but a sick pile of hypocrisy. I snore, stifling a hoarse chuckle. Seed found Jack's words to be amusing as well. No need to eat garbage. There are better things to come. An unpredictable vigor. Yes. Oh my gosh. My throat. Alright, so we are in Come With Me, Toby ending. I'm not sure what I want. Pazuzu hums, understanding my predicament.
You need not choose now. We will have plenty of time for that.
I am thankful for this entity's patience with me. My mind is working at its limits, considering every negative and positive possibilities to either choice. To be honest, I am reluctant to stay, but also so very scared to leave. What if I am left alone? My body folds in on itself. The tip of my mandible inches from the grass beneath my feet. What if something happens and I lose everything?
Now, my dear, you think far too hard on something that has yet to happen.
Pazuzu's gaze drifts over to the mass of reeds growing over to the lake. He chuckles, flashing me a knowing grin.
I believe an option is about to appear before your very eyes. Well, fate can be a fickle yet caring thing. I wish you the best, child.
With his words, the book shuts and falls to my feet, the glowing fading once the pages seal. I am taken aback by Pazuzu's words. Fate, he says. I have never been someone to trust such a thing. Out of interest, I shift my focus to the reeds, watching with both foreboding and skepticism as I stash away my possession, nearly toppling over as the plants begin to violently snap and sway. What, Buttercup, what are you doing here? None other than Toby stepped out of the thicket, his clothes horrendously dirty. Blood and dirt smeared his frame in its entirety. His complexion seems more dead than usual. To say I am surprised is an understatement. No one has seen this boy since the end of the mission. The other proxies has been up everyone's ass for information, and Slender is in a foul mood about his disappearance. Despite the attention being on his disappearance, I damn near forgot about him with everything going on. Toby hobbles over, his legs subtly dragging behind the other. I'm momentarily concerned about the possibility of a breakage, but have no grounds of doing anything about such things. Toby nearly fell on top of me as he sank onto my body, running his fingers through my hair, obviously craving the attention from another being. Geez, you would not believe the shitty luck I have been having lately. I have not slept for days, you know. So much on my mind. My concern for this boy outweighs the others greatly. Not only is he the youngest one here, he is also mentally sensitive. So easy to break with one word. I try to cozy myself around his body as he lay against me, similar to the time we watched the stars together. There may not be any starlight with the sun out, but the lake is just as nice of a view. I don't want to come back here. I wanted to run away, but I need to get some things I left behind. He laughs. I think I twisted my ankle climbing out of the second-story window. We sat quiet. Toby played with said foot for a bit, running a finger over the swollen flesh. His eyes flickered over for a second, locking my gaze before retreating. I remembered something. Toby's voice is quiet, just above a whisper. Well, not something. A lot of things, really. All of it, maybe. He pauses, glancing up at me and smiling in my direction. I had a sister. She died. I can't really remember how, but I know it was an accident. A flash of pity, short-lived but strong. I brought my head closer to him, poking at his face and earning a chuckle. He smiled at me, the shape of a tear on his cheek wrinkling in an odd manner. I have done a lot of things, Buttercup. She would be so disappointed with me. His face flushed red as his eyes glazed over. I subconsciously licked away a straight tear. Toby covered his face, wiping away his snot and wet eyes with his palms. He laughs with embarrassment as he sniffles. I am such a mess. Everything is so fucked up. Why? Why did everything turn out like this? I can almost read his mind. Oh, well, I read it like he would, but anyways. There are many instances in a story where the main character breaks down, destroying themselves over everything already long lost. I have not once thought of the possibility I would meet someone, let alone be the sole responsible to comfort them. So I try my best, remaining quiet, allowing the young man to sob his eyes out while I helplessly watch his despair play out. Pathetic, right? I can just see the others laughing at me if they saw this. Toby sits up, trying to control his sniffling. I should go. I've already stayed too long. Boss is good at finding people, and I don't want to be forced to forget again, no matter how much the truth hurts. Toby raises to his feet, stumbling forward as his balance shifts and his leg nearly buckles from under him. Toby may not feel the injury, but his body sure knows it's there. A twitch in his legs brings Toby to his knees. I shoot off the ground to aid him, but I am left standing over him without a purpose. Toby looks at the ground in displeasure, glancing up at me as I am with a forced smile and tears in his eyes. I'm so useless. Oh, fuck. That one hurt. There is no way I can leave Toby alone like this. He is like a small kicked puppy. But what to do? I'm not good with dealing with broken people. I stress I may make the situation worse with my actions. Toby gasped, shooting up to his feet. Have to go now. One of the proxies are coming. Toby looked over me with red eyes, placing both of his hands on either side of my face and pulled me close enough to lean his head against my own. Come with me. His voice is soft, sour, gentle, and desperate. Come with me, please. Knowing I cannot reject with such a desperate plea, I bend down, sighing heavily with defeat, with my conscience telling me I have other options. I can see my desired, peaceful future melting like ice. Toby flops himself upon my back clumsily, the small fabric bag barely kept in his grasp. Toby didn't give me direction. I just assumed he wanted to get as far from the mansion as physically possible. Not once did he direct, speak, or complain, allowing me to march at my own pleasure. My sister had a dog when I was little. His voice cracked. By the time I was old enough to remember, it died. He rubbed his face against my mane, gripping the fur tightly between his fists. Its name was Buttercup. Buttercup. A nostalgic name he gave me without even knowing the weight it holds. Toby sighs, staring off into the tree line. All the things I had forgotten for so long, no one told me. I wounded if this is the reason why. I pause in my march, glancing at him over my shoulder. He looks back with a content smile. They knew I would leave. My body rumbles in a soothing purr, a sound Toby seems to enjoy. His body fell limply against my back, his breath steady and relaxed. It's nice having you with me. I was getting tired of being alone. I smile as I hear his breathing soften, his body relaxing against my back as he allows himself a moment of rest. I may be a silent support, but I won't let you be alone. That is so cute. Oh, that is so sad, but so damn cute. Damn. Boy deserves better. He sure does. Alright, for the sake of this, I will finish it. It's the last one. We got this, people. We have the strength. Anyways, we are on Birdbrained. Jeffending. Why on earth? You know what? I'll question it later. I guess I no longer have anything to lose.
Indeed. That seems to be the case.
Pazuzu chuckles.
I take it you wish to remain?
So it would seem. I smile, content with my choice, yet a little sad. I just wish to say goodbye to my family, you know. Pazuzu's eyes fold, a slight flash of sympathy and understanding.
It is for the best. For those lost are best forgotten.
His eyes trail to the forest stain behind me. He huffs, glancing at me once again.
It would seem I must go. Do not fret. I shall remain by your side as long as you will have me.
The book fell into my grasp, feeling heavy in my hand. There you are, fucking finally. A rough voice calls as Jeff's figure emerges from behind the brush. Do you have any idea how long I've been looking for you? We all thought you bailed. He seized, clearing his throat. He avoided my stare and stifled a laugh. Well, I mean, you should be fucking grateful I even bothered. And my brows knit as I trail my eyes down the branch scratches, covering his face and disheveled clothing. He is downplaying his effort. I would be sweetly moved had the motive not come from this man himself. He is not known for his camaraderie skipping the word after all. I shifted away from him, conscious of the possibility he may try to barbecue me again. Jeff notices my actions, his eyes hardening as he sighs. Look, I know we got off on the wrong foot. He twitches at my glare. Come on, I even know when enough is enough. He swears to himself, mumbling as he chews on his fingernails. Not like you would taste good anyways. Sucking a rock would be better. He stops his sudden attention, startling me as he gets far too close to my face and jabs a finger to the bridge of my beak. You hear me? You're built too much like a brick wall. I won't be able to dice you up how I like. I growl. No way in hell am I expecting his words to be genuine. He changes his mind as at the flip of a dime, implosive and a downright asshole. It would be in my best interest to turn around and walk away, hiding myself from the tallest mountain in the area, never to be seen by any human ever again. The man's gaze does hold me in place against my better judgment. He looks expecting. as though he demands I forgive him for his past actions to my safety. What, you're just gonna stand there and gawk? Jeff tilts his head, offended by my lack of attention. I have a sudden spark of realization, a thought that this may be a shitty round-down apology. I scoff at the thought, the noise causing Jeff's shoulders to momentarily tense. He shifts uncontrollably under my hard gaze. He still carries that cocky, know-it-all grin, but it is strange and cracking the longer I watch. If I'm being honest, I am indeed done with this guy. But after everything I can admit I do find him entertaining, by a delusional stance. I provide him with a chirp, a pity-filled gesture for the man's uneasiness. I don't trust this man. I don't trust him, but his entertainment is pitifully pathetic in a way a killer shouldn't be. Jeff snaps his head over. He chuckles awkwardly. All right, I'll take that as a good sign. He breathes a sigh, stubbing the underside of his nose. Right, now you can't attack me for no fucking reason. Glad we got that out of the way. Really? I narrow my eye, shaking my head and turning to remove myself from the lakeside in annoying killer's presence. Wait, hold on a sec. He places himself before me, blocking the intended path with his body. We're not done talking, dumbass. He bites his tongue, shaking his head slightly. He opens his mouth a few times, his eyes trailing across the ground as though searching for the words in the grass. Would you... I mean, it's not like I care, but... He plays with his tongue as he thinks aloud, feeling disgust with his own lack of vocabulary. My patience is wearing fast. I can only take so much bullshit, and this man is eating the walls of my sanity. I am unsure how much more of him I'm able to stand. My eyes reflectively closes as a droplet falls over my lid. The overcast had darkened into a sad gray, finally dropping its tears over the two of us. Ah! Jeff strains. He points to the sky with great enthusiasm. Yeah, the rain. He coughs into his hand. I don't really care, but I have a spot at my place you can use. I'm willing to put up with things for a while. Or I can find literally anywhere else. Jeff bites his lip at my unamused expression. He's becoming frustrated with my noncompliance and is unable to think of an excuse to convince me to accompany him home. I have a lot of old books. You like those, right? My head perks up, eyes widens. Out of everyone who I have met on my journey, Jeff would be the last person I would consider a reader. Of course, he would be lying to my face. He could be lying to my face. If that is the reality of it, I will be forced to take actions for such a shattering development. But what if he's not? It's hard to describe Jeff's reaction to my accepting of his kind of proposition. It was a mix of nonchalant indifference and vibrating excitement. The bizarre expression caused me to second-guess myself, but in a way, such a reaction suits the lunatic to a T. We didn't make it in time for the rain to grow heavy, soaking Jeff to the bone. He walks around like a moist towelette, though not showing any discomfort to the sensation of having wet clothing fused to his skin. He led me to his shabby place. It is quite a bit smaller than Jack's, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom kind of place. The yard is covered in invasive weeds and old rusted cars, like an abandoned junkyard. Jeff took me to the back of the place, where, sitting before a torn chain-link fence, is a depressed lean-to. It's stable, sure, fashioned together with old barn wood and metal roofing that appears to have been only days before the rust gives away to holes. I glanced over at him, my eyes slowly squinting with revelation that the sad place was a provided shelter. Jeff grin widens. Nice, right? No need to thank me. It may look like shit, but unlike my place, it'll hold out the water. I must remind myself that this is just for the night. It is better than sleeping in the mudding ground, and the opening is wide enough to allow my big poofy body through. It is acceptable. An estranged mattress is tightly pushed into the corner of the shelter, holding questionable stains. The bed is soft. Shreds of bark litter the space, left behind from the firewood once stored. Not bad. Not bad at all. Jeff hums, whipping his face with the sleeves of his nasty wet sweater, attempting to dry his vision. He seems to be in thought, though, fighting with himself to get the words out of his mouth. You know, I would spruce it up a bit, maybe. Don't get me wrong, I don't give a rat's ass if you stay or not. I'm just saying. Jeff had an odd way of splicing his words together. It's confusing and irritating, but I can feel the consideration he intended to convey. I don't mind if you stay. I mock with a chuckle, a smile creeping up. Perhaps this guy has a hard time being anything but a homicidal asshole. Since the conclusion of the mission, Jeff has been watching his actions and words. He may be trying to refrain from pissing me off and making up for the times he had done so after realizing I'm not a pushover, but he needed not to be so considerate for something so simple, unless he has another goal in mind. Smile should be back soon. I can show you the place if you want. Not much to see, though. Jeff awkwardly glances around the yard, scanning over the heaps of metal carcasses in the boneyard. In the boneyard, really. Yeah, boneyard. I shift in place, stepping away from me as he starts for his house. I'll go grab those books you like. I should have a few that haven't been burned. My eyes twitches. I protectively place my claws over the book secured in my hair. How dare you, Jeff? I have made myself comfortable before Jeff got back, his arms stacked with a variety of hard-covered novels, some damaged with black burn marks from sitting too close to a fire. Though infuriating on the mere thought of using literature as Kindle, I cannot be mad knowing Jeff is too much of a dunce to use books for anything else. Here you are. He casually plops a stack onto the ground with a heavy thump. Should keep you occupied for a while. I didn't wait for him to finish his sentence before diving through the pile, reading through each and every label with enthusiasm. Some of these books are vintage, compact with old English stories that could make people jealous should they fail to get their hands on a copy. A treasure trove. And this Anibia burned more than half of them. Smile, you're back, buddy. Jeff greets the red dog as it saunters from the tree line to his side, red liquid coating his mare. What? Birdie's gonna stay the night out of the rain. Play nice, Smiles. Smile and I make eye contact as I look up from the book before me with a tisk resonated through the hollowed area. Did you just click your tongue at me, bitch? I swiftly jump to my feet, my irate state with Jeff protecting his pet. Jeff laughs, shifting his weight to kick Smile away from the entrance. You guys can fight when the rain's gone. Don't ruin this lean too. It's been the only place for Jack to sleep when he gets lost. You make Jack sleep outside on an old musky mattress? Cruel, Jeff. That's so cruel. Jeff rubs the back of his neck as he stands by the exit, seemingly unable to hold still. So, I was thinking about heading to town tomorrow night. Don't suppose you could give me a lift? Maybe an accomplice? Ah, so that's what it's about. This sneaky man wants a chauffeur. I can't hide my eye roll. I always grab things from people's houses while I'm out. He sneers, baring all his teeth. Can always grab someone's books. Oh, can always grab some books as payment. This fucker. He knows how to bargain, apparently. I should feel irked over being used, but the reward brings a smile to my face. He snickers, ruffling my hair in a harsh yet joking manner. I'll take that smile as an agreement. Remember, you must stick around until tomorrow night. Ben might pop around if the rain stops. He's gonna lose his mind when he hears I got a new pet. With his last degrading words and a wave of his hand, he spins around and marches back to his home. I breathe a Brett breathed a long sigh, tired from everything that has happened this month alone. I feel my body unwind as the patter of rain upon my room accompanies my reading. Jeff may not be the best guy to work with, but I think I will stick around for a time to add to my new collection. At least I have my books. That's actually kind of sweet of him, not gonna lie. That's kind of sweet. That's nice of him. But anyways, y'all, we actually fucking finished the story. Listen, y'all, I stuck through it to the end. Because I stuck to it. I could. But before we completely end it, and, you know, I talk a lot, there's a character sheet and some other stuff I want to check out. Okay, so this is the character sheet of what MC looks like. Alright. So this is what our character is going to look like. That's kind of what I imagined it. This is the character sheet. So this is another one. Long neck, small wings, and okay. And then people are like, then they mention that some compare MC to the character from Owl House or Seedeater. Idea for face. Interesting. Okay, not bad. I would imagine, like, the whole face is the beat. I don't know. My brain works very differently. And then Seed is taller. That's what Seed looks like. That's what we look like. Oh my god. Someone really stuck their nail there. Huh, that's funny. That is very funny. Anyways, and then here's some other drawings depicting half mask, original, and the bear mask. Wow, they're good at drawing, I'll tell you that much. And then they imagine what the body would look like, which is kind of interesting. This is a good body type. This is what I think it would look like. This is what I imagined. Anyways, well, thank you for showing us the character sheet. Man, I should have saw this a long time ago. It would have kind of confirmed what I would imagine it would look like. Then we also got a note as well, basically saying that thank you for reading Monster My Friends, and they enjoyed people reading it and everything, etc., critiquing, etc. So, and then I think this is the last update where basically it's just a Q&A of just some questions. So if you guys have some questions or anything like that, you can go ahead and ask the author, and I think they'll reply to you. I haven't asked any questions or anything like that yet. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. We're done. Look at that. That is insane. Can you believe we actually finished? Well, guys, thank you so much for following me in this journey. And, well, all good stories come to an end. So, to the next story that we shall read. I will miss this one, but hey, at least I read it to you guys. You can watch it as many times as you'd like. And, well, maybe it would inspire you to make your own. Maybe. This story is really good. I've read it for a couple years before I actually read it to you guys. So yes, I did know what everything happened. But there's some like stuff that were tweaked and stuff that I didn't get to read. So I'm just glad I got to reread it again, which was really nice, guys. I really appreciated reading with you guys. I really did. It was fun reading with you guys. So, but anyways, how did you guys enjoy the story? Did you like it? What would you rate it? Did you appreciate all the endings? Did you imagine our character actually looking like that? What we saw earlier on the character sheet? Let me know in the comments down below. For me, this book is amazing. I loved it. The character sheet is pretty much how I imagined it. And I give this book 10 out of 10. Because it is one of those books out there that are 1, hilarious, 2, emotional, 3, I would believe pretty realistic, and 4, multiple endings, and we're a monster. I think it's freaking interesting. Honestly. So yeah, I'm glad I got to read it with you guys, and sadly, it's the last video. Last video. Unless they make a book 2. I don't think they will, but you know, never hurts to have hopes about it. Anyways, preventing me from talking a lot. I hope you guys did enjoy this story. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. By the way, do you guys like the intro / outro? I kind of redid it and redid the sounds because they sounded much better. Let me know in the comments below if you like it or not. Oof. Also, side note before I end this, please vote in the communities. There's polls going on. Probably there's about 3 different polls going on. Please go vote on those. The more y'all guys vote, the sooner it shall be done. Maybe. But anyways, your girl's gotta go. Bye and peace, y'all.